Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Picture this. You buy a beautiful bunch of bananas, bright yellow and perfect. You blink, and suddenly they're a sad, spotty, mushy mess, right? We've all been there. You leave them on the counter, promising yourself you'll eat them, and then brown town. Some folks try the fridge, hoping for a miracle, only to find the peels turn an even scarier shade of black almost instantly. But what if I told you there's a way to keep those bananas looking sunshine yellow and tasting perfectly sweet for a whole week, maybe even 2 weeks, without any special gadgets? Stick around, because today I'm spilling the secrets that will change your banana game forever. And you absolutely do not want to miss the end, because I've got a mind-blowingly delicious trick for those bananas that do eventually ripen. A recipe so good you'll wish you'd known it years ago. Seriously, your family will be begging for more. Let's dive in. All right, let's get down to business and save those bananas from their untimely demise. The journey to perfectly preserved bananas starts the moment you bring them home from the store. Forget just plunking them on a plate or, heaven forbid, chucking them straight into the fridge. Bananas are surprisingly sensitive souls, especially when it comes to cold. Dip below about 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 Celsius, and a pesky enzyme called polyphenol oxidase goes into overdrive. This is what causes that rapid browning and speeds up the whole spoilage process. So, your very first mission, and it's a crucial one, is to give those bananas a spa day in a saltwater bath. Now, I know what you're thinking. Salt water for bananas? Trust me on this. This simple, almost laughably easy trick is incredibly powerful for removing any ripening agents that might have been sprayed on the banana skins. You see, growers and stores sometimes use these to help bananas ripen faster and look uniformly appealing on the shelves. To counteract this, grab a large bowl, fill it with water, and stir in about 2 teaspoons of salt until it's dissolved. Gently wash each banana in this solution, paying extra attention to the stems. After the initial wash, let just the stems of the bunch soak in that salt water for a minute or two. This is where those ripening chemicals tend to concentrate. If you skip this step, those chemicals will continue their work, and you'll be looking at brown, mushy bananas in just a couple of days. This quick rinse and soak will dramatically slow down ripening, keep those annoying black spots at bay, and help your bananas stay beautifully yellow and naturally fragrant for an extra 5 to 7 days. Easy. But wait, there's more to this banana spa treatment. After their saltwater dip, we're going to give them a second bath, this time with baking soda. This step is super important for getting rid of any lingering dust, dirt, or pesticide residues that might be clinging to the peel. Empty out your salt water, refill the bowl with fresh water, and add about 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Baking soda creates a slightly alkaline environment in the water, which is fantastic for neutralizing acidic residues and breaking down those stubborn, sometimes fat-soluble pesticides that plain water just can't tackle effectively. Gently swish your bananas in this baking soda solution, making sure each one gets a good roll around so the entire peel is treated. And again, don't forget those stems. Let the stems soak for about 3 to 4 minutes in the baking soda water. You'll be amazed at how much this slows down the ripening process starting from the top. Once they're thoroughly rinsed and soaked, the next step is absolutely critical: drying. You need to dry each banana meticulously, especially around the stem area. Grab some clean paper towels and gently blot every inch of the peel until there's no moisture left. If you leave them damp, you're basically rolling out the welcome mat for bacteria and mold. Within days, you could see mold starting to creep in, or the bananas might begin to ferment and rot, often starting right at the stem. So, take your time with this drying step. It's the gatekeeper against premature spoilage. Now your bananas are perfectly prepped and ready for the next stage of preservation. Okay, with our bananas squeaky clean and bone dry, it's time to focus on the stems again. This is ground zero for mold and bacterial parties. Take a clean knife and carefully trim off any little bits of the stem that already look a bit blackened or spoiled. Even a tiny patch of mold here can act like a super spreader, quickly taking over the whole bunch and causing everything to ripen and rot way too fast. Once trimmed, grab some plastic wrap. You're going to tightly wrap the main stem of the bunch, or the individual stems if you've separated them. I mean tightly. Use several layers if you can. This creates an airtight seal that significantly reduces the release of ethylene gas. Ethylene is a natural plant hormone that fruits produce as they ripen. It's basically the signal that tells the banana to get soft and sweet. By sealing the stems, you trap that ethylene, preventing it from spreading and accelerating the ripening of the entire bunch. This not only keeps them fresher for longer, but also helps prevent the peel from turning brown so quickly. If you prefer to separate your bananas so you can grab one at a time, make sure when you cut them apart, you leave a little bit of the stem attached to each individual banana. Then wrap that cut end securely with plastic wrap or even a small piece of tape to block air exposure and prevent browning at the cut. Now, for storing them. Whatever you do, never stack bananas on top of each other or let them just lie flat on the counter. The pressure causes bruising, which leads to those ugly brown spots. The absolute best way to store them is to hang them, using a banana hook or even just some string. This mimics how they grow naturally, prevents bruising, reduces surface contact, and keeps the peels looking lovely. If hanging isn't an option, at least lay them with the curved side facing upward, so they're resting on their backs, which helps distribute pressure more evenly. And one final, super important reminder: keep those bananas out of the refrigerator. The cold temperatures trigger what's called a cold shock in the enzymes within the peel, causing that dramatic blackening, even if the fruit inside is still okay. Always store your beautifully prepped bananas in a cool, well-ventilated spot at room temperature, away from direct sunlight. Follow these steps, and you'll be enjoying fresh, vibrant bananas for days longer, slashing food waste and saving money. So, we've mastered the art of keeping bananas fresh for what feels like an eternity. No more panic eating an entire bunch before they turn, and no more sad brown bananas in the fruit bowl. But let's be real, sometimes life happens, and a few bananas might still get a little too ripe before you get to them. But don't you dare toss them out. Those overripe, fragrant bananas are pure gold, and with just a few simple ingredients you probably already have in your kitchen, you can transform them into the most incredibly fragrant, sweet, and tender banana bread that will have everyone raving. First things first, gather about 4 to 5 of those lovely ripe bananas, peel them and pop them into a large mixing bowl. Now grab a fork and get to mashing. You want them fairly smooth, but a few small lumps are perfectly fine. They add character. You know, ripe bananas are nutritional powerhouses. They're packed with tryptophan, fiber, potassium, and vitamins B6 and C. These goodies can help boost your mood, improve sleep, support healthy digestion, and even contribute to heart health. Plus, they're relatively low in calories, making them a decent option if you're watching your weight. Just a little note for anyone managing diabetes. While bananas are nutritious, they are sugary, so it's wise to enjoy them in moderation. Once your bananas are mashed to perfection, it's time to introduce the wet ingredients. Crack in 1 or 2 eggs. Use 2 if your bananas are on the smaller side or if you like a richer bread. Then add about 3½ tablespoons, which is around 50 grams, of unsalted butter that you've melted and let cool slightly. Give this all a good mix until it's smooth and has a lovely, slightly creamy consistency. Now, in a separate bowl, let's get our dry ingredients ready. You'll need 1½ cups, or about 180 grams, of all-purpose flour. To this, add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and just a little pinch of salt to balance the sweetness. Whisk these dry ingredients together thoroughly to make sure everything is evenly distributed. Now for the magic moment. Pour your wet banana mixture into the bowl with the dry ingredients. Grab a spatula and gently fold everything together. You want to mix it just until it's combined. A thick, cohesive, slightly sticky batter is what you're aiming for. Overmixing can make your banana bread tough, and nobody wants that. Before you even think about baking, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. And don't forget to prepare your baking pan. Lightly grease it with a thin layer of butter, or you can line it with parchment paper to prevent that beautiful bread from sticking. Carefully pour your luscious banana batter into the prepared pan. If you're feeling a bit fancy, you can arrange a few thin slices of banana on top for a lovely decorative touch before it goes into the oven. Now, here's a pro tip. Cover the pan tightly with aluminum foil. This helps the banana bread cook through evenly and stay incredibly moist. Pop it into your preheated oven and bake for about 30 to 35 minutes with the foil on. Then, you can remove the foil and bake for another 10-15 minutes, or until a skewer inserted into the center comes out clean and the top is a beautiful golden brown. Oh, the aroma that will fill your kitchen as this bakes. It's pure, sweet, banana-y heaven. When it's done, let it cool in the pan for a few minutes before turning it out onto a wire rack to cool completely. The crust will be perfectly golden, and when you finally slice into it, you'll discover a soft, moist, and irresistibly rich interior. This banana bread isn't just a breeze to make, it's also a wonderfully wholesome treat, relatively low in fat, and the absolute best way to give those overripe bananas a glorious second life. It's truly the best of both worlds, no waste, and a delicious reward. So there you have it. With just a few straightforward steps, you can keep your bananas looking fresh and tasting great for over a week, maybe even longer, without worrying about them turning into a mushy brown mess. And if a few do happen to get ahead of you, you're now armed with an easy, incredibly delicious, and pretty health-conscious banana bread recipe that the whole family will absolutely adore. Seriously, who knew bananas could be this exciting? Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I really hope you give these banana-saving tips a try and definitely whip up a loaf of that banana bread. When you do, please drop a comment below and let me and everyone else know how it turned out and what your family thought of your amazing homemade treat. And hey, if you found this video helpful, please smash that like button, share it with your friends who are also tired of tragic bananas, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our future tips and tricks. We've got so much more to share. Until next time, happy baking and enjoy those perfectly yellow bananas.